Sneeples. Dusk Till Dawn meta is right here upon us, but it's a bit too early to tell in Classic Constructed what heroes are more competitive and what are more casual. Where they lie in the tier list, we just don't know quite yet. But what I do know is 3 decks that are a ton of fun to play and can even be pretty competitive too. So let's get into that. We're going to start off with a fan favorite, and that is Boltyn. Boltyn stands have been waiting for Boltyn to be fun again, and I have a deck that's a ton of fun, and it works with light cards that are yellow pitches. We are basically almost all yellows, and we are just running stuff like Beckoning Light, Spirit of War, Light the Way, Blistering Assault, Searing Ray. I mean, anything that requires a yellow pitch or a yellow charge, we have in the deck. The deck is like maybe 90% yellow. We're running that. Of course, we are going to be running Vestige of Soul, and that means we are also running Beaming Blade. I thought Beaming Blade was like the worst weapon that came out in this set. Then I gave it a chance, played with it, and now this is my favorite weapon to swing, even over Raiden, which is insane to say. Woo! But with Vestige of Soul and the Beaming Blade, you can, on average, get about 9 to 11 points of damage every turn, and that's not even your big turn. Your big turns, you can get up to like 15 points of damage. It's amazing. It's great. I love it. You're going to be running the new Iron Song Versus. Courage tokens are huge. We want to have as many courage tokens as possible because that is what really fuels the deck. And when you have Vestige of Soul, you tend to have that extra resource to pitch a yellow card, to activate Iron Song Versus, and then swing with the Beaming Blade, all with just 1 yellow card, which is exactly what we want to do it. Now let's get into the spiciest parts of the deck. First off is, we are royal on this deck. We are running the Crown Dominion, and that is because it's perfect for us because Cash In is a yellow card. So we can pitch and feel great with it, we can charge it and feel great with it. That is after we use the gold to draw 2 cards for free. So gotta love the Royal Boltyn here, but he's also a bit of a scholar too because he does have the Libary in the deck. The Libary is a very good synergy card, especially with the Vestige of Soul build, and it is amazing. At that point, when you have the Libary, you're averaging about 15 damage a turn, and because everything's yellow, it's so easy to always be drawing 5 cards. That is where Boltyn becomes competitive. And guess what? You can just draw a Libary and play it, but you can also find it with Beacon of Courage, which that's a little cool little synergy going on. Finally, if we're running the Libary, if we're running Vestige of Soul, of course we're going to be running Tome of Divinity, so that's another way to draw so many more cards. Check out this deck, it's a ton of fun, but let's get into another warrior that I believe has some new cards as well. Next up is Dorinthea, and this Dorinthea runs a bit different because we're not running the Dawnblade and we're not running axes, where we are running axe, and that is the Decimator Great Axe. This axe is incredible. I didn't think Dorinthea was going to get a good axe, but she did. And here it is coming in for 4 for just 3 resources. It's kind of like the Guardian playstyle. And guess what? All of our cards block for 3. So you could play that playstyle. You could just block, swing forward, block, swing forward. But it gets better because Dorinthea's ability allows you to swing this axe twice if you have the resources for it. So as you can imagine, we're a pretty blue heavy deck with this one. But the axe is a very hard card to defend. You can't just put a Sink Below on it and call it good. No, that Sink Below is going to block for 2. So this axe requires at least 2 cards to block it in order to not allow it to be able to swing again. And that is pretty good because if you're able to get 2 cards for 1, then you're doing great. That's good cost synergy. But let's talk about some of the other cards that you can get while running the axe, and that is Cleave. Cleave came with us from Dynasty, but now with this Decimator Great Axe, it's really, really good. And the reason is because it's only cost 1 to come in for 4. And if you're going against Prism or Dromai, you can kill 2 angels or 2 dragons at once. On top of that, you can run Felling Swing now. You can come in for 8, 9, or 10 on just one swing with your axe. Big damage. And then finally, of course, you have Spill Blood to give the axe +2 and dominate and just make it just coming in hard. The axe build runs a little different. It doesn't get to get the counters and whatnot, but you are going to be coming in with an axe that's hard to defend and is hitting hard on top of it. You can still play Dory's really good cards, like still play Supremacy to draw some more cards, Iron Song Determination, give it dominate. You're still good to do that. Sure, you can't play Gushing Steel Blade. That's okay. This axe works all the same. So let's start swinging with this big axe and putting pressure on our opponent, kind of the old Guardian playstyle way. Alright, next up. Alright, moving away from the warriors, we are going into Viserai, the Rune Blade hero. And this Viserai is the OTK Viserai. And what really makes this possible is Scepter of Pain. Being able to use your weapon without using all those rune chants you're building is amazing. You're basically able to drain some arcane damage, trying to get another rune chant, and then just building up your rune chants with other spells like Read the Runes, Runic Incantation, Blessing of the Occult. All these cards to just build up your rune chants while you just kind of stay back and use defense reactions such as Reduce the Rune Chant, Sink Below, Fate Foreseen, Sigil of Suffering. If it's a defense reaction, you have it in the deck. And that's kind of the game plan of this deck, is just use cards to build rune chants, Mordred Tide, Read Runes, Blessing of the Occult, all that stuff, Rune Blade Incantation, and then defend with your defense reactions until you have about 25-30 rune chants. Swing a Knife Blade, call it a day. You also have Looming Doom, so you can also run that as well to get chip damage in and rebuild, because this deck does a very good job at that. So with this new Scepter of Pain, you can achieve getting a rune chant or doing something every turn to enable to get a rune chant every turn, or threaten it at least, while keeping your rune chant level or stack high. That is the Viserai build, the OTK Viserai build, and that is our 3 fun CC decks that maybe aren't being talked about, that maybe aren't being play tested, but it's something that you can take to your armory, have a ton of fun with, and maybe even come out 3-0. I honestly think that all these decks have that potential. Now, would I take this to a calling? Not quite there yet, but I think I'd definitely take it to an armory to have some fun. So, thanks guys. We'll get to a Blitz edition coming up, and then when we start getting ready for Nats, we'll start putting out some more competitive decks. But until then, keep on fabbing.